Good afternoon. Tony Dottino here doing my Friday Live with Tony, talking about the different elements that impact our mental fitness and our memories, creativity, and how we go about living our lives. I am doing this one early today because I have Friday evening appointments, and therefore I wanted to make sure I got it done, didn't push it off till when my business day was done, so I decided to do it now while I have some time. And I just finished reading an article on your mysterious brain, And this stuff is just popping out, and I'm excited about the online course that we are shortly going to be releasing on the 6 elements of brain health. But here we go. Science has mapped the surface of the Mars and translated the code for life. By comparison, we know nothing, next to nothing, about what's between our ears. Over the next few pages, we asked leading scientists to answer some of the most important questions about our brain. And I was editing the course that we're developing right now yesterday, and it occurred to me as an opener in the intro, do people believe that there are things that they can take control over that have an influence over their own thinking and their memories and their own way of interacting in life? And I'm obviously an optimist about it. I've been researching it for over 30 years. I consistently see it from the people I interact with. So my own lab experiences and research show me that when you can give people a level of optimism and you can get them to realize there are things they can do to improve their brain fitness over any age of their life, and brain fitness can be their creativity, their memories, their cognitive functions, and how they go about problem solving, how they go about communicating, how they socialize. There are things you can do within your own control that can make that difference. And that is my optimistic experience that I've seen from people over the 20 plus years that I've been hosting the USA Memory Championship, and seeing the difference it's made in people's lives. And we've got testimonials, hundreds of them. And so it's time for us to kind of explode this out into the world and let people know on a broader scale there's so much more. And when you read this here about, by comparison, we know next to nothing about what's happened between our ears. And it's frustrating because what? It's our brain that controls our lives. So I start reading this, and the first thing that really hit me, and I don't know, I'd like to get in touch with this scientist and take him to the challenge because I'm not crazy about it. Do genetics affect mental health? Do genetics affect mental health? And he goes on to say in his new book that, our genes are obviously important to us, and therefore some of the way our genes are constructed have an impact. But here's where I take exception to what he's saying. As soon as I have seen you give people the room to say, my brain, well, I was born with my brain this way, and there's really nothing I can control to do about it, then you've given them their lifetime excuse for being where they are. And I'm saying, yep, okay, genes are important. I understand genes are inside of our body, but boy, I'll tell you, I've seen enough of studies, and we're doing one right now, where our mental thinking of how we think about things and how we process those can in fact alter, and the chemistry and electricity that we have that fires our thought patterns and our memories and retention and encoding can all have positive things we can do that help make those differences in the results that we get in life. So one of them, and then so this is almost like God. And so here we talk about genetics, and then come back, and after that comes an article. Can you improve your brain with food? And the answer from the years and years of research being done on this now is absolutely. So what foods are we eating? And there's more and more research being done by chemists and biologists that are studying the effects of food on our brains. So think about that. The food we bring into our mouths and how we process through our body, and the air we bring in through exercising, are both consumed in the brain. And so this is where we can start to take control over things. So these are being consumed by our brains. And this article went on to say, this was fabulous. I think this was done by Kimberly Wilson, Build a Healthy Brain is her book. Your brain is hungry. In fact, it's the hungriest organ in your body. Despite making up 2% of your overall body weight, your brain consumes 20% of your body's total energy requirement. So stop and think about that. For something that's such a small in terms of ounce, when you look at it, like two fists together as your brain, and you think about what you're eating and then exercising, breathing, then by golly, what are you eating? So here's a little graph that she puts into the article. And that graph talks about oily fish, 140 grams of servings a week, whole grains, 5 or 6 each day, leafy green vegetables. I mean, I think we're hearing these things over and over as it relates to heart health. But this is also impacting brain health. And we're going to also see where it impacts long-term COVID. Berries, have a half a cup at least 3 times a week. How about legumes, 3 to 4 servings per week? And raw unsalted nuts, 1 serving per day. These are things you can control. When do you ever stop to think about what your diet is and what nutrition you're featuring in your day-by-day eating habits? I'd love to go to the deli once every couple of weeks and pick up a hero that we realize the impact that processed foods are having on us and how they take all the right ingredients out of it and they process it so it stays longer. The salt contact's in. I mean, we could go on in looking at the foods we eat. I'm still an ice cream person. I try to find ice cream without a lot of sugar content in it. But what are the different elements that we are looking at? And are we beginning to realize the balance between proteins, carbs, and fats? And that many times we think fats are all bad for us. No, there are polyunsaturated and monosaturated fats that are good for us. If we take fats out of our diet, we impact the myelin sheaths that help us control thinking, and we create short circuits. So nutrition is an important ingredient, which to me helps you to offset whatever the genes are that, okay, so our genes are going to impact us, but hey, there are too many things that we're learning today that we can do that can make a world of difference. And be it in the heart area, if you've got cardio issues and you're worried about heart attacks and your heart health, there are things you can do for your brain, for your heart, and now long-term COVID that all give you what I call a 3-for-1 deal, if you can learn what they all are about. So we talk about brain fog, okay? So here goes this brain fog now. So we're talking brain fog. What is brain fog? So brain fog is now this notion where as you've gotten COVID or you go about some of your days, it just feels, wow, I just kind of check out a little bit. There's something I'm trying to remember, and there's something I'm trying to do, and I lose it. Now, when does it come back? What do I do about it? And so what's interesting, as a general rule, when we're in a better mood, our mental performance tends to improve, in part due to the feeling that more energized and more motivated provides an implication that anything you can do to improve your mood will likely have a benefit for your mental alertness. From meeting a friend for a chat to taking a walk in the countryside. Exercising is a well-known mood booster. And we can go on with the next part of this, which is a fantastic piece of work that the magazine has done, which lines up perfectly with the online course that we've got coming out in a week or so, which is the best habits to keep your brain healthy, happy, and sharp. The best ways to keep your brain healthy, happy, and sharp. And what are they? I've been talking about these now for the last year. Be mentally active. Be mentally active. Now, what does that mean? It means, can you learn a new skill? Can you look at a YouTube? Can you go listen to somebody on a video clip where they're teaching you something new that you might enjoy? Maybe it's a new hobby. Maybe it's new flowers you put in your garden. Maybe it's a new plant that you bring into your house and learn something about plants. Maybe it's a new subject your family members are taking in a school curriculum or an academic thing, and you can ask them, what are the things that they're learning in that curriculum that make it fun, that make it interesting? What problems do you need to solve? So who can you maybe socially surround yourself with and then bounce that problem off of that group of people? But there are numbers of things, if you just think about the goal of staying mentally active, how am I keeping my brain going? Crossword puzzles are a way that I keep my brain going on a daily basis, as well as reading and reading and reading different magazines that keep me connecting and thinking of different ways of going about some of the challenges that we see in our world today. Socializing, that goes without saying. We're hardwired for social beings. And the challenge we've had during COVID is we shut socialization down. You see streets in the early stages of New York City, I mean, which is where I've spent many, many days and weeks of my life, empty. Like, whoa, it was a hub of people just coming together. People now want to get out. You look at them in basketball stadiums, football stadiums. My goodness, people just want to get out. They're naturally wired to socialize, and yet COVID has shut us down. So how can we at least maintain socialization? I sit on a front porch and I watch people walk their dogs. I say hello. I got about 10 feet between me and my porch and the sidewalk. It's wonderful. Once in a while, there's a dog comes by and runs over to me. I love petting the dog. It's awesome. You can find things, if you're sitting at home, you can sit and look out of the window and just watch people go by, see what's outside. Are there birds and trees? What are the things you can do to get out of your environment and at least still exist in a positive way for socialization of some sort, so you don't just feel like you've been locked down? And boy, has that cost us plenty in these lockdowns with kids, especially in schools, and masking and the impacts they're now discovering. And I've been saying that for over a year now. The lockdowns are going to be our biggest experiment ever on socialization. Exercising, there's endless. The benefits of even a walk. You know, I ask people, well, gee, when you talk about exercising, what does that mean? People think, well, I got to go to the gym and I don't have time to work out. You know what? A 15-minute walk, 10-minute walk, working at a little bit of a brisk pace at the end of dinner, even in your house, even in your apartment, walking around the couch when we were shut down and I didn't want to go out anywhere, just walking up and down our own hallways, but just physically being movement. I started doing my stretching exercises, watching television, which took away 30 minutes of sit-down time on my butt and getting up and being actively engaged. Stretch bands. I know at one time you couldn't get one in a store. The stretch bands were just so popular that people could do stretching at home. Any of that while watching, listening to music, staying at home, talking with people. Exercise doesn't have to be, I got to be a marathon runner and go out and kill myself. I already talked about nutrition, the impact of nutrition. Boy, my goodness, more and more keeps coming out about that. And thinking the positive. What is it you can do? What is it that you're able to do that can make a difference in your life? I can go on and on and on, from your sleep to how do you handle stress to how do you build resilience in your life. We've put all of this together, and I'm really excited about the difference that we're going to be able to make in people's lives, especially as it relates to our brain health. And who do you not talk to that when you get to meeting them, especially in the Middle Ages, start to worry about their brain fitness and whether or not they're going to have dementia or Alzheimer's and what have you. And isn't it sad that we are now learning about so many things that we can take control over and we can put into our lives without getting crazy about it. This is my Friday Live with Tony. I just hope one or two of you out there get this and realize there is something that you can do. There are elements. You don't need to do them all at one time. Just pick one at a time. Work on nutrition. That'll give you busy enough time. Then go to exercise. Think about your sleep patterns. What are you doing in handling the stress that you've got in your life and getting some help? Even sending me an email at adottino@aol.com. What are the things that we can take control over? What mental challenges can we introduce into our regimentation? How do we fit this all into very busy, active lifestyles where we worry about ourselves, our spouses, our kids, family members, who's local, who's away, can't travel, don't want to travel, all the different things going on. What about our heart health? How do we put that together with it? Now, how do we deal with this long-term COVID? So we certainly have enough of challenges, but I continue to remain being optimistic based on the results I've seen with people I've worked with over 25 years. and the differences it's made in their lives. So I will continue to be optimistic. I will continue to apply and deploy what I have up in here and the learnings and things I've done and wanting to share them with my Live with Tony audience and anyone that you wish to share that with. So this is my Friday. It seems like I start Monday and you get to Friday and it's like, boom, it's like here. I just wish somehow we could figure out how to slow the clock down. But until Monday, enjoy your weekend. I think our football games are all done, and now we're into the NCAA tournaments and the NBA All-Star game, and maybe some golf if that's something that you want to watch on TV over the weekend. But continue to be smart. Be safe to where you go. I think hand washing should stay with us forever. That's not a bad idea, ever. And continue to watch Live with Tony. I'm going to just keep bringing out these tips and hoping to make a difference in somebody's life each time that I do one. And if I can get one going, that can go to one more, that can go to one more, then I get a great value out of doing these and feeling that I personally can make a difference in someone's life. We'll see you on Monday.